What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a brand new, beautiful, legendary hero in Empires and Puzzles named BASTET, which is in the Dune summon. So let's break her down and give her a grade. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so in ancient Egyptian lore, Bastet was the goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health. So let's see if this 5-star purple hero can live up to that hype. She is of the Ranger class and the Moon family, which I've covered before, but we'll talk about it for just a moment here. It's either a 50 or 75% chance to cast negative 24% defense for 2 turns and 196 water damage over 2 turns on an enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. Of course, that depends on whether you bring 1 or 2 of these moon heroes along. If the enemy's special skill defeats this character, the chance is 75% or 100% chance. Now, what's interesting about this is that the interaction with the special, if the hit can go through, punishes the opponent who's hitting it. So it's very interesting. I think that what that does is creates this situation in which, like, the heroes are not always going to dodge. This hero has dodge. We're going to talk about dodge in just a moment. But sometimes they don't dodge, but Bastet's going to punish them anyway. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, she's got a passive here, effects on special skill, 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill. Deals 70% damage to all enemies and dispels the latest dispellable buff from all enemies. So she, as far as a dodge hero is going, is actually going to deal a bit more damage than other dodge heroes like this. The special itself deals damage, kind of like Costume Caitlin does. But first, the basic 784 attack, 817 defense, and 1495 health. I think that all looks good, but I think because even though she's like a defensive hero with dodge, the 784 attack could be higher. I love the 817 defense, but because she's actually going to deal attacking damage, there's a lot of incentive to go on the sword's path on this one, just saying. All right, quick and nimble is the special. Fast speed deals 220% damage to all enemies. That's better than Costume Caitlin. It's not huge. We've definitely seen heroes that will hit for bigger damage on all enemies, but oftentimes they're average or even slow speed. So getting the attack up and dealing 220% damage plus this potential passive here of 70% more damage means that she's potentially going to be dealing a good amount of damage. It's like sneaky damage. All allies get plus 45% attack. All allies get plus 45% chance to dodge special skills for 3 turns. Each dodge gives plus 5 defense, a stack, max of 10. So, we've seen this dodge effect before. Hanitra has it. Costume Caitlin has it. So, how does this stack up? Ha ha ha, pun intended. So, because we have a stack of plus 5% defense here. Well, as far as the attack on this hero goes, I really, really love this. A more aggressive defensive hero, which when you compare aggressive and defensive together, I think that's always a really good mix because you can protect your team while you're still dealing damage, and that's important because on a lot of heroes, they either protect your team or they deal damage to the opponent. It's not often you see a hero that does both like this, so that's cool. However, I think that the stack of plus 5% defense is a little weak, so while the strength is that it's more aggressive, it's not quite as defensive as like a Costume Caitlin, for example, who gives a lot of that protection up front with the minions, and Hanitra, who will like overheal basically. So I do think that Hanitra is the most defensive of the 3 we're talking about here. Costume Caitlin's a little bit aggressive, definitely not as aggressive as Bastet. I think she's probably the most balanced, and because she's a costume, you can flip back and forth between the regular and the costume. I think that just gives Costume Caitlin a little bit more value, but Bastet's almost there. I think, as far as heroes go, Bastet is about on par with Hanitra. So I'm going to give Bastet an A-. It's a strong A minus. I think that she's very close to being an A up there with Costume Caitlyn, who in my opinion is an A. But I just think that the defensive stack is weaker, and that's the only like knock against Bastet that I have. Because think about how matches play out in this day and age. Heroes typically are going to go off 2, maybe 3 times. So plus 15% defense, it's like nothing. A max stack of 10. When are you ever going to get to that? If you have a hero whose special has gone off 10 times, you probably won. In fact, you probably won 5 times ago, right? Like, it just, that doesn't matter at all. The matches in Empires and Puzzles this day and age are too quick. You need to have your tiles right away if you're on offense. And the defense, you got to be able to like kill the defense before they start going off. If they start chaining their defensive specials together, it's just really hard to win at that point. So where do I see her? She's going to be on defense, definitely. She's an awesome hero to put on defense to be protective and aggressive. And definitely on offense too, because I use Costume Caitlyn on offense, and I wish that she did do more damage, and so Bastet's going to fill that role. Of course, you can play around with color because you have choice now between, you know, if you're going against a team with a number of purples, potentially you could bring Hanitra, but, you know, if you're going against a team with yellows, you can bring Bastet. That is going to be another thing that maybe you don't see Bastet quite as much on offense in wars and such because there's a lot of purple tanks. You, of course, can bring purples against purple tanks, but oftentimes it's going to be that yellow that's a little more valuable from a color standpoint. You know, as far as events and tournaments and things, I think she's going to be actually a little bit more valuable than Costume Caitlyn in those situations where you're, especially events where you're trying to go through with like a timed speed thing. Yeah, so, you know, you're trying to do tile damage and direct damage, and, you know, Costume Caitlyn slows you down with the minions, whereas Bastet's not. Bastet's going to help destroy the enemy. So, and protect your team from the big specials and stuff. So, those are my thoughts. What do you think? If you got her, please let me know in the comments what you think, especially if you leveled her up and took her for a spin. If you think her grade is any different than what I gave, I'm glad to know that too. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when I drop new videos or go live, and I will catch you in the next one.